Hello, Fightful Faithful. Welcome to the AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite review, not starring Sean Ross Sapp this time. It's me,
No.
Alex Pulowski. I'm usually here, but this time I'm on the left side of the screen, and so you might be confused. But on the right side of the screen is Kate.
It's me.
Hi, Kate. Yeah.
Hi, Alex. How are you?
TBD.
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 That's fair.
Yeah.
Is it if Sean was here, would you feel better? Is that what it is?
No. He'd probably make it worse. So
Okay, good.
it's good that you're here.
I'm glad. I'm glad that I'm here. I'm glad because I wasn't on Sour Grabs for NXT yesterday. We get a dose of Team KLX as always.
We do.
Get in your super chats, get in your humper chats at humperchats.com. Do leave a thumbs up on this video because this is the AEW post show for February 18th. We had a lot of information on FightfulSelect.com, including the great news that Alex has been waiting for. Chris Jericho is still under AEW contract. So we do have that. A Kenny Omega schedule update as well for those of you looking for specifically some AEW news. We had some of that over there. We also had New Japan news with Dave Finley's contract expiring. I say it all the time. If there's anywhere Sean's going to hoop, it's in contract news. It's like his favorite thing to report. It's what he does best. We had details on the Inspiration debuting in AEW. They are all elite. They got the graphics. Suck it, RJ City. But plenty going on at Fightful Select. We had a whole AEW Grand Slam scoops thread as well, or at least a bunch of news updates. I don't know if they're proper scoops, but plenty of that and more. Sean will be back next week. He's just doing some traveling for some other stuff. But yeah, I feel like AEW has been on a tear, and I feel like last week was an all-timer, and there's some really good stuff on this episode I'm excited to talk about as well. I had high expectations for Hangman and Swerve, and they were met. And I'm very excited about this MJF and Adam Page program.
Kenny and Swerve. You had high expectations for Kenny and Swerve.
What did I say?
Hangman and Swerve.
No, well, I had high expectations for that too, and they exceeded that, but that was a while ago.
That was a while ago, though. Yeah. Those expectations were met and exceeded about a year and a half ago.
Yes, exactly.
Still, it's true. So yeah. So the way that I'm gonna do this rundown is I'm saving the Hangman and MJF thing for last, so that'll be the main event of this rundown. Because there are implications involving that are controversial, let's say. So let's get through the rest of the show, including some really great stuff. Tom Valley says, I am confused. No Kate yesterday, but Kate today? Don't get me wrong, I'm happy, but quite confused. More confused about this than the Cody stip. That's the main event segment. We'll talk about that at the end. Okay,
we can talk about me.
Everybody knows. That's true. Jim Duker says, "Why to Alex OTK? Why to Alex OTK?"
We are here in action tonight on AEW.
I'm trying to be less white, Alex. I threw out a whole bunch of stuff from our pantry, and you know, we're trying to. I'm gonna new year, new me. Well, mostly new year. Let's just say, like, we're a month and a half into the new year. My new year starts like a few days ago. So,
Alex, it's the Chinese New Year because it's the year of the Fire Horse, and that just started yesterday. So you're actually right on time.
Fire Horse is a new. Yeah. That's a new year, right?
Yeah, because it was the year of the snake, which is all about like shedding habits, blah blah blah. But I was like, cool, but like, can we talk about the Fire Horse part, please? And it's
that's
like about
new, right? Because I'm pretty sure I'm the year of the goat or something. And I was like, I wanted to be the year of the. I wanted to be the year of the. When I was a kid, I was like, I wanted to be the year of the tiger. Goats, all they do is eat trash. I don't want to be that. And now I realize that I am the year of the goat because the greatest of our time. But like, you know, it's a little different. Anyway. The Year of the Fire Horse is pretty awesome. So
Year of the Fire Horse is awesome, and I didn't really know about it, and I was like, the symbolism is cool, but tell me more about this fire horse. So, but the point is, you are straight up on time, my friend, with like your
new Chinese year, new me.
Yeah, new, still super white, Alex.
Yep, sounds good.
But part Puerto Rican, right? Did I make that up?
Yeah, quarter Puerto Rican. Yeah,
quarter Puerto Rican. There you go.
There you go. Yeah. You can't tell because of all the pastiness.
Sure.
But
it's there.
Yeah, it's there. Hey, Jon Moxley defeated Mark Davis. Mark Davis is great. And he looked really good here, but he broke his hand. I'm gonna go ahead and say, reckless speculation. He shattered every bone in his hand, and all the bones poked through, and there was blood everywhere. It was oogie to look at. And all Danielson could do was like, oh my God, look at his hand. It's so swollen. It's gotta be broken. Like, sometimes I love Danielson the most when he is an 11-year-old on commentary, because he's like, oh wow, that's so much blood. Oh man. Oh, I think his jaw's broke. Hey guys, I think his jaw's broke.
Guys, did you see this? Yeah.
He feels like he's one of the kids in Stand By Me. Like, do you want to go see a dead body? It's gonna be awesome. But yeah, Mark Davis, I hope he's okay, because that guy's been snake bit by literally everything but snakes at this point. I feel like the only thing that hasn't happened to him, ironically, is him being bitten by a venomous snake. So I really hope his hand is all right. But he and Moxley had a pretty cool fight here, and Moxley won because he knew he was gonna. But it was a good showing by Mark Davis. I love that gut wrench, drop down into a pile driver thing he does. Great. It always looks amazing.
Oh, this delicious.
This was really good. I enjoyed this a lot. And the thing we get out of it later is that Moxley challenges Takeshita to another match for the Continental title at Revolution, but this one has no time limit. And when you do that, because they said during the match that they had at Grand Slam, this is a TV Continental title match, so it's 20 minutes. At the pay-per-view, it's 60. So if you're saying no time limit, it kind of has to go over 60, or you would just do a regular Continental title match at the pay-per-view. So at this point, if Takeshita and Moxley don't do a full Broadway, I'm going to be very disappointed.
A couple of things with how they opened the show that I love too. I am a sucker for the promo train thing. I love it. This one, the audio was just a little bit quiet on. I feel like if you're going to do the promo train, because it feels so old school, you have to do the like, well, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like you have to have that kind of energy behind it. But I love that. Like if you're not opening with wrestling right away, I adore the promo train thing. I am also absolutely loving, and it's been going on for a while, but I don't always get to talk about it on here. So I'm going to talk about it now. This Renee sideline reporter vibe, I love so much. Like there's been a lot of talk, and rightfully so, about the oversaturation of belts. But early in the year, I feel like what we're seeing is them trying to at least assign personalities to those belts again. Everybody's hunting for the world title. That's like top contender mode. That is the grand prize at AEW again. Ciampa losing the TNT title so quickly. Like that's going to be our workhorse title feel again. I'm hoping like changes hands. You're going to get more hot potatoes with that. Like I'm hoping that's a proper TV title belt. If the Continental belt is something that the rules of it come into play, and there's also like, this doesn't really assign itself to the belt, but like if we're going to have this thing where Renee does the sideline reporter thing with it, like it's much more palatable for me to deal with all these belts when each one of them feels unique in some way, because I understand why people are chasing them in different ways. Mm-hmm. So I just appreciated the setup going into this. The match was great. My God, like poor Mark Davis. His wrist, his hand, his tag partner, take all of his pain and give it to a worse person. Like take all of his pain. I'm sorry, I don't normally do this, but give it to Tyrus. Like he's retired anyway. I never really liked the guy. I always thought he wasn't a very good wrestler, and he doesn't seem to be the best person. Take all of Mark Davis's pain and give it to Tyrus. I'm extremely serious when I say these things. But he is just, I love Danielson on commentary also saying, like, he's also such a great wrestler. Like, you could tell the brawler that he is and how that essentially coalesces with Mox, but like, it's like he's a great wrestler at his core. And I like Danielson pointing that out. And I had the exact same reaction you did about Danielson. Like, he just sometimes is a kid watching wrestling on commentary, and it's so much fun. I find those moments with Nigel really appealing too, where they're just like freaking out on commentary. Unfortunately, in this case, it was a rough injury, but this match was very good. It's a logical way to get to a Moxley Takeshita rematch because Davis and Takeshita obviously both being in the Callis family there. So I just want to give Mark Davis a hug, and I am excited for the rematch between Takeshita and Moxley. They have a special chemistry. Like,
no,
the moments that they locked up over Grand Slam and the past stuff that we've seen with them, that's awesome. And it's also a payoff to the two largest, most dominating stables on this show, kind of like coming head to head again. So I'm excited for the rematch. That feels delicious to me.
Yeah,
and I find Moxley infinitely more interesting as a face.
It is one of those things where Moxley doesn't have a victory yet. Like, the draw just keeps the title on him, but Takeshita beat him in the C2, so you might think we would even up the victory count by having Mox retain. But while that would make sense for their particular rivalry, it would make less sense for the thing that I want, which is Takeshita to have the Continental title and fight Okada already. My God, why are we waiting so long for him to fight Okada already, who was the international champion? And they put both titles on the line, and then they reunify them and then weld the belts together so that they cannot be taken apart ever again, because it was a really cool thing that they unified the titles and then they ununified them. And I would like them to reunify them and then unify that forever. That's what I want.
I think the welded belt has to have the side plates of every iteration that belt has been. It just has like side plates that go all the way around to the back. But I do want to give a shout out to Jamie from Perio Magazine, who says, "We fight kangaroos at school. Davis will be fine." He's a stalwart of the Aussie wrestling media scene. I certainly recommend giving him a follow, but he would know better than I would about Mark Davis's toughness. And also Greg Cherry, who gives 10 Fightful Wrestling with Sean memberships. Thank you, Greg.
And then Jim Dukers being very nice to me. Svelta Alex, OTK. Svelta Alex, OTK. Not svelte yet. Hopefully in a couple of years we'll get down to svelte size. I just
maybe you'll be wide at Alex because you'll be like just like wide up here. Like you'll be one of these guys. Like,
I mean, I did that a while ago. It's like that's probably part of the whole deal was, you know, in the gym too much and then decided I don't want to do that anymore. I never want to
step foot in a gym again.
and all that kind of just went, and I like, because I had a lot of that up here a while ago, and then it all went, and
yeah, but that was like pre-Fire Horse Alex.
Yes, true. Actually, Jim Duker says, I'm a Fire Horse, completing my 60-year cycle this year. Good for you, Big Jim Duker.
I think I'm a rabbit or some bullshit. I want to be as cool as
I might be a rabbit or a goat or a chicken.
A goat is cool though, because you could be like, I'm the goat.
Well, I know, but like, you know, it's only in some translations is a goat. You know what I mean? It's something else sometimes or whatever. And then Yodcock says, no question. Just wanted to throw some money to Kate for being a fellow vegan. Gotta help offset the vegan tax, you know.
Thank you for being kind to animals, and thank you for your chat. It's a decision I made over 2 years ago, and I've just been happier and healthier for it ever since.
Greg Cherrybrand says, hello, SGS. I know it's Wednesday, but Shiloh Hill followed me on Twitter and then also teased the return of the fog. I'm making things happen. Well, I'll believe it when I see it. That guy's been frauding up the fog for a while.
Greg, if you get the fog back on TV, you should get an NXT contract.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Um. Yes. Meet Norma saying, "Happy Hump Day. Shall we crank, darlings? Revolution is a revolving door of rematches so far. Willow should drop a belt, and Megasis should win one." Yeah, we'll talk about that very soon, actually. So FTR came out to talk. Stoke also talked. They said mean things about the Young Bucks' children, who I guess would be the Younger Bucks. Um, uh, and
I'm the Younger Bucks, the second.
Yes. And then the Bucks came into the ring and super kicked FTR. And then Stokely was like, "They're right behind me, aren't they?" He didn't say that, but his eyes said it. And then he turned around and he was like, "Guys, I was just kidding." And then they super kicked him, but apparently TBS and HBO Max, like, did they censor it? Inflatable Carnival says they censored the super kick to Stokely in the wheelchair. Was that a TBS call? It aired just fine on Triller. Probably a TBS broadcast issue and HBO Max as well. And then when I saw like people like AEW posted it to their own socials, and in that clip, it's also missing that particular 3/4 of a second where they kicked him in the face. It's just a weird thing for just to be gone. We can assume that's what happened, I suppose, but maybe it's, won't somebody please think of the children? You know what I mean? They can't watch a man in a wheelchair get kicked in the face. It would upset them.
I guess mothers stopped this with their remote, or they don't have to this time.
No.
But I feel like I might be wrong in this. Maybe I just didn't notice it the previous week. Is Stokely's wheelchair getting more embellished as more donations point into?
It feels that way. I don't know. I did notice how gold it was, and I did not notice how gold it was before. If that is the case, it's some of the most subtle heel storytelling character bit that I've ever seen, and it's great. I need him to eventually the wheelchair is just a private jet. Like I need it to be like a jet stream wheelchair.
I was gonna say a throne, but I like your idea that it's still like a mobile.
Like yeah. No, I mean Stokely should just be in the wheelchair for 6 years. You know what I mean? Like, and eventually he will have got enough money that he can pay for a jet.
I do love the idea that people. You know what? I don't love it. Okay. They need to launch a full investigation into the donations that people have sent Stokely Hathaway's way, because a lot of people backstage donated, from my understanding, and I feel like the funds might be misappropriated if they are going into this wheelchair. I would like to see what the red tape looks like. I would like to see the nonprofit guidelines. I would like to see his tax returns or lack thereof. I need to see the paperwork that was done to file this as a nonprofit, because it feels like the funds are being allocated into the wrong place if they're going toward making his wheelchair gold. I think it is upgraded from previous weeks because the camera work kind of like zoomed in on the back of it with like the big Stoke too. So that is very funny. This match hasn't happened for 2 years. It is a rematch and a rematch heavy card, and it reeks of Cope and Christian coming back to me, because they've both been healthy to my knowledge. It's just been Cope was off TV filming, and I think they were waiting for the right re-entry point. If it sets up a TLC match at Wembley, like if that's what we get to, you won't be satisfied with that, but I probably will. And
at Wembley, it's a big enough show that would be a big thing to do.
Yeah.
It would pain me greatly for the tag team titles to be tied up in that.
Sure.
All the way until like the late summer, considering how many great young tag teams they have who've never been the tag team champs. The idea that it would be like somehow kicking around the Bucks and FTR and also two grandpas who are best friends. But basically it's FTR, the Bucks, and Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon from Grumpy Old Men. That's basically what those guys are to me.
Right?
That's who they are to me. And every time I see them, they look more grizzled. And I'll never forgive Adam Copeland for ruining 5 months of AEW programming at the top of the card. He sucked all the life out of the top of the card when he was going after Moxley. Then he fell asleep during the guy put him to sleep, and then he got another title shot after that. I don't want to get into it. Yes, I feel like that is also the plan. And
Do you
my
think they
thought
just do it in Canada and they don't wait all the way till Wembley?
maybe that might be what they do, or who knows? Maybe they win the belts in Canada and they go into all in as the champs, and somebody else takes it from them. I would love it if it was a 4-team.
Sure.
TLC match. It's usually a 3-team. I understand that's the tradition. But if there was a 4-team TLC match and the other team was literally any other team and that team won, I would be very satisfied with that. My thing was, and I said this last week, this might be a very big mistake to do Young Bucks and FTR again. And it's not a big mistake to do the match. It's a big mistake if what happened this week happens, where the Rascals are the hot new signing, and they go into last week facing the Young Bucks and Private Party for a shot at the titles, and they lose, and they are not mentioned the following Dynamite. Private Party comes back from after being gone for over a year. Mark Quinn added a whole other Mark Quinn on top of the original Mark Quinn. And they are not mentioned. They are mentioned by Stokely in a derisive way, but not by commentary. Not like, here's what we're doing with these great new tag teams. Nothing backstage. Nothing like, hey, these guys want the trios titles. Like we have Ricochet and the Demand want the trios titles. You know who else should want the trios titles? And maybe even butt into that backstage promo? The Rascals. They should be doing that, because you got to have something to do with these guys, because they just showed up. You played with them for 5 minutes and you're like, And I don't think we should do that with new and returning young tag teams.
You think it was this?
I mean, I think it could be.
Sure.
I think it very well could be.
I would say a couple of things. One, I always give the grace of like maybe that's Collision stuff. But I have said, I've been on record consistently as saying, I think that it's good when we get program rotation. So now I'm like, because last week we had so many key players not on the show and it was insane. Like, they also didn't mention Tommaso Ciampa tonight, right? So I'm like, is that for Collision or is it next week? Because I personally, this is just a mea culpa, like how I like to watch wrestling. I really like when we get like small segment that moves things forward, advancement of that segment the following week, and we get in this really fresh rotation, because then nothing gets old. So if we're returning back to that because the roster is so stacked, I'm mad. But I do understand what you're saying of they've been so much better in recent months, last year into this year, I would say, of intentionality, bringing people back from returns and signings. Like, we have seen people, Megan Bayne, we have like people have had specific goals and showed up on TV for a reason. And I want to see that continue as well. So I totally hear your criticism. I just, I have the patience of a fire horse to let that play out.
Yeah.
I don't know if fire horses are patient.
Yeah, it's possible. I like this from Scott Tilden. The Young Bucks children should be called Small Change, which is a very good tag team name.
That's phenomenal.
Tom LaValle is saying, wait, did they go time cop with that kick? I would not put it past Tony Khan to be like, what if we just took time out? Like, just like, we just removed time. We just like that, you know, maybe? I don't know.
Could be.
He loves time cop. which means he's got terrible taste in movies. But talking about Cope and Christian winning the tag titles in Canada at Dynasty. It's true that Tim says Swerve and Darby will be much closer to their hometown than Cope and Christian will be at Dynasty. You mean the two biggest heels on the AEW roster, Swerve and Darby?
That is true, but wrestling just decides not to. Like, they're just like, oh, Canada, it's all one spot. A lot of times.
Yeah. So Jordan S says Cope and Christian, more grizzled, more veteran, yet less young. They're veterans.
I was gonna make that joke too, but then they're just grizzled old vets, and I think that's fun.
They're grizzled old vets.
Yeah.
Brody King, he got a taste of he got so close to the title. I would argue he got too close to the title. I would argue that MJF is not the kind of guy who kicks out of the Gonzo bomb when nobody else ever has. There are certain guys who are the type of guy who kick out of the Gonzo bomb when nobody ever has. MJF to me is not that type of guy, and I feel like you save it for the right type of guy in the right situation. A babyface should be the first guy to kick out of a move that's never been kicked out of before. I think it is my own weird Bret Hart-esque. This is the way wrestling should be, and it should be this only way because I say so. Brain that I have. I think that they should have done something where he got a foot on the rope or something. Kicking out of the Gonzo bomb was my least favorite part of that match, and I really, really liked it. But yes, he got very, very close. I would have agented the match a little differently at that point, but very, very close. He says he's going to face somebody next week on Dynamite, so he's got the week off, which is nice. But I liked that they gave us a little, what was that, 20 seconds? If that. Like, these are the kind of things where if you're going to have a guy who was very, very important for the last several weeks leading up to a thing, and then he's not going to be on the next episode, give us a taste. Give us a little thing of like what he's going to be doing next. So now I'm really looking forward to what they have next for Brody King to do. And I guess we're going to see what that is next Wednesday.
What you just said about that little taste is kind of what I was talking to about how the old school AEW, they're like a 6.5-year-old company. But like those years when they only had 2 hours to play with, they were forced into that kind of thing. And I love that. And I love what we got here from Brody King. And I'm intrigued because Alex, he was like, I got a taste of gold and I want more gold, which what I love about that indicates to me, he's going to be sticking around the top of the card. And I love the idea that Brody King is like a top of the card guy. And that they made him a main eventer, and he's not like, well, I guess I'm just gonna go hang out with more of my friend Bandito, and maybe we'll go after the ROH tag titles. Like he wants to be in the upper echelon. He is already there with all of the fans. He has proven that in the ring time and time again. And I really appreciate that. Like, for someone who wins you over on just his personality and his immense size, like, the importance of wanting to be a world champion didn't get lost in that. Because sometimes when people are so undeniably over, you can abuse that and like not make them care about goals because people are just going to cheer for them anyway. But I love that in this quick segment from Brody, it was just like this really authentic reaction. And like he stated his intentions, which were, I'm a top of the card player now. And I'm just excited to see what comes next out of that very much.
I got a different thing from it. I think he's going after a mid-card belt because I don't think he's going to be the world heavyweight champion anytime soon, but I think he could beat Ricochet. I think I would rather have him carry I want gold. I mean, however, this gold is beneath me. I don't think that Brody King needs to be that. I think that he could go after everybody, but I don't want to see him get more world title shots and lose them. and I just don't think that they're going to put the world title on him when they've got all this other stuff going around the world title.
That's kind of what I mean, though. Like maybe he's dancing with those guys, and he's not necessarily like back at a title shot yet or whatever.
In the meantime, until all of what's going on in the world title is done with, I would rather see him hold something that is something else. But a really fun fatal 4-way for the TBS championship that the ending made me go, oh God. And so like because I really enjoyed these 4 women, Mina, Marina, other things that don't rhyme with Ina. Megan Bayne. I loved the exchange between Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir, former tag partners who really want singles gold, and just throwing monster elbows and then those kicks to the megas. Which I thought they were gonna. I thought they might become minis because they're not megas anymore. But those kicks from Marina Shafir were insane, and then power bombing her through the table, the scorekeeper's table. That was really fun. Megan Bayne is like her Frankensteiner that she does, and she does like flying things now, and like she's just decided that I'm the largest woman who wrestles, and also I'm a flippy do, and I'm like I just feel like wow, okay.
Well, Lena Cross debuted looks taller than her, so she was like, I got to get into lucha. That's the only.
Yeah, that's right. She took a flip bump, avalanche German suplex.
Yes.
Like onto her belly, but it was almost onto her brain. Like she almost did not flip all the way over. Like that was one of those moments where Bryan Danielson was like, "Oh my God, I don't know how she's walking after that." It was really, I love 11-year-old loves is so excited because he knows that his parents would never let him watch this level of violence. Yeah. And he's so excited to be getting to do this while he's over at a sleepover. And all these they're like he's watching some violent movie, and the other boys are playing video games. He's like, dude, did you see that? He totally tore his face off. I was that boy. So that's why I like it so much. But
it's genuinely though, like I find this with all my favorite announcers. Ian Riccaboni has that kind of enthusiasm. Nigel, when it was Nigel and Morrow, I had that to the brim. Like it adds to the viewing experience. It just legitimately does. Like if you're a wrestler turned announcer, the insight is so invaluable, but that doesn't have to be your only trait. Like Taz also has this sense of humor that makes you feel like you're on a field trip when he's not leaning into like heel Taz style. Danielson's other superpower is you feel like you're watching wrestling with him. And I love that. Like, it feels like you just want to be like, I know, right? Like right back at him. It is really, really nice.
Yeah. Immediately after the crazy German suplex that Megan Bayne took, there was a flurry of offense to Willow from Mina, ending with her setting up for the figure 4 and pausing before she did it so she could do a little dance. And then Willow just sat up and rolled her into a small package and snuck out of the fatal 4-way with the title, in the process making Mina, who already takes a lot of pinfalls for a lady who gets a lot of title matches, made her look like a super dum-dum. Like, there's no reason to do the taunt before the fatal 4, the figure 4. Just do it and you might have won. But because you gave Willow time to recover, even that second and a half, she realized where she was, she sat up, she pinned you, and now you look like a super dum-dum. And I don't feel like they should do that with anybody. But now we have Willow, who is still the TBS champ and still the tag champs, and that is a thing I don't like. I don't like that there are double champs. There are too many double champs in AEW. One is my absolute limit. But there are now at least two. Maybe I'm forgetting some, but that's the thing, is that there are enough of them often enough that I feel like I'm watching a never-ending stream of double champs, even if I'm not.
A never-ending stream. I agree with you. I feel like it's very possible. Like we had Lena Cross aligning with Mega Bad, and I feel like that isn't done yet based out of what we got with this match.
Right.
With Willow. So my hope is that like Megan Bayne is due, if not overdue, for gold of some sort. And the Babes of Wrath was like fun, but I don't know if it'll ever fully clicked. And Willow just like, she's so infectious, and so is Harley. And sometimes it's like, they're subtracting from each other instead of magnifying each other in a way where like I just want to see Willow defend this TBS title. I feel like all the momentum that Mercedes built just has been waning week over week. So my hope is they lose the tag titles because I think Mega Bad deserves it. Penelope's been like, she's fought so hard to come back from injury so many times, man. Like her getting to hold gold would be really special. So I'm hoping that's where that goes, and then Willow is your TBS champion properly. Like I think that would be good. It was nice to see Willow defend her title and be in singles action because there's just she's so infectious, and she's just a sweet badass. Like it's so fun to see that of like there's not a lot of room in wrestling for that in general, but even less in women's wrestling because it's like, oh well, if you're big, you gotta be intimidating. It's like, no, this woman will hug you and then go beat the brakes off of someone. And like that just works for me better in a singles context. So I hope we get like a proper run for her, especially because her first one was a little bit thwarted by Mercedes coming in. So I would like to see her get a little bit more juice behind this. You know, I don't know if Mercedes even has creative control anymore or not, but I think Mega Bad should win it, not just to take it off the Babes of Wrath, but I feel like Megan's been so great and so protected. They brought in this absolute heater and Lena Cross, it looks like. And I feel like Penelope deserves it so much. Like, if you want to do this, like, Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo tag team, I'm so there for that. But this match was fun. To your point about Mina, like, the amount of title losses she's taken between AEW and ROH is like, it's like her, and then Jordan Grace is like 0-8 in title shots in WWE, and both are stupid. And I feel like if Mina was going to take the pin here, she could have been like looking for Tony instead of dancing. Like they're still lovers to my knowledge. So she should have been looking for her lost love or something. Like I would anything but a Joe Hendry ass ending. That's what that reminded me of, was like Hendry and Orton at Mania had the same feel where it was just like, let me be dumb here. It's not what I want to see.
Yeah. Agreed. I've been banging the drum for Megan Bayne to be a singles champ for well over a year now. You got to do it. I think she should be the one to dethrone Willow. I think it should happen at Revolution. If it doesn't happen at Revolution, it could happen before Revolution, as far as I can. I just feel like it's been too long. I think that Willow and Harley can have a fun feud with the Brawling Birds, who we're going to talk about in a little bit, for the tag championships. I think that that's something you can do. If you want to do it in reverse order, and the Brawling Birds beat the Babes of Wrath at Revolution, and Willow holds on to the TBS title for 8 to 10 more weeks or whatever, and then Megan Bayne does it, or whatever, I'm fine. I think Willow needs to be the AEW Women's World Champion sooner rather than later.
Sure, that's fair.
My thing is, the sooner she loses the TBS title, the sooner she can beat Tekla for the Women's World title. And when that happens, the person who comes back to screw her out of it or to come back and take it from her, of course, is Mercedes. And that, to me, can be your 2026 of the women's world title
Sure.
is Willow chasing Tekla, Willow becoming champion, and almost immediately Mercedes coming back to ruin the life of Willow, and Mercedes finally getting to be women's world champ as well. And there's so many other women that can fight over the TBS title.
Sure.
But make sure they are fighting over it. This is the thing about the TBS championship. I think it should be defended on TBS regularly. This is the first time I remember them do this. I'm sure they've done it within the past couple of months and I just have forgotten about it. But like this kind of thing, just a random Wednesday, a TBS title defense is a good thing. Make it a TBS title open challenge once a month. Or twice a month. I don't care. But like have the TBS women's champion defend it on TBS, and the TNT champion defends it on Collision. I think those are such obvious, easy things for people to understand, and like just a simple thing. Your brain is entirely shut off, and the TBS championship is defended on TBS, and the TNT championship is defended on TNT, and that's a really easy thing for people to understand and get into the habit of wanting to watch.
Alex, that's so easy to understand that people could understand it wherever they are in the world on whatever device they're watching it on.
Yeah, it's the universal language of understanding things, no matter where you are.
Man, I wish I could choose wherever I wanted to be, but I don't think there's a way that I could just set my location to somewhere else.
So far, teleportation has not yet been invented. However, there are VPNs.
I've told you about all the ways that NordVPN.com/Fightful is beneficial to wrestling fans. And that's just on the basic tier. It works on all devices, all operating systems, allows you to change your virtual location to appear from anywhere. But there's so many more other features. You can keep your files protected with a private cloud. You can secure your passwords with a password manager as well. They have cloud storage. They've got MeshNet where you can connect to a remote devices safely and create your own private network. They have VPN servers in 127 countries. They have Threat Protection Pro. You can block malware, trackers, and even ads when you're not connected to the VPN. It's got the ultra-fast connection, dedicated IP, a data breach scanner, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. So for some reason you think you don't like it, you can get your money back. NordVPN.com/Fightful. Head over there, check out all of their incredible features and testimonials at NordVPN.com/Fightful.
I've learned so much in the past 1 minute and 4 seconds from Sean Ross Sapp. Gosh, if only they ever sponsored one of our award shows, but that's too pie in the sky for us to ever.
Too pie in the sky. AEW King says, "Hey guys, just wanted to say hi. I love this show." We thank you, AEW King.
AEW King, thank you so much. I think a newish comer to our shows. I think starting their own podcast, if I remember correctly. Which is awesome. Rock and roll, man. Thanks for hanging out and for all the support.
Meek Normus says, "I'm the year of the metal monkey, not the meaty monkey." Oh, wait, I clicked on the wrong one. Meek Normus says, "I'm the year of the metal monkey, not the meaty monkey."
Wait, is that a for real thing?
I don't know. Fire horse. I looked it up. It just says year of the horse. I don't know where you're getting fire from.
Obviously, white girls on TikTok.
Okay.
Where would you?
Okay.
Where would you think I'd get it?
I just saw
it's
year
a fire
of the horse.
That's the thing.
Okay. What makes
a
it a
rare,
fire horse?
high-energy, transformative Chinese zodiac sign occurring once every 60 years. It signifies a time of bold action, independence, and rapid change, often associated with social upheaval. That is according to CNN and my Google search.
I am the year of the water sheep.
Ooh.
I don't know anything about water. I don't know if it's water or not, but I just wanted to be funny and use a different element. But I am the year of the sheep. I knew it wasn't goat because goat's too cool. I'm the year of the sheep. I'm the worst year. That's the thing that I like, because the sheep. Who wants to be a sheep?
You're also just like super not that. Like I don't know what the Chinese symbolism is behind it, but that ain't you. I am not only a rabbit, but I'm a fire rabbit. This is exciting.
Wow. Fire rabbit sounds amazing.
Fire Rabbit sounds awesome. I feel so much
Yeah.
better about myself having
Yeah.
Googled this. There's a
Yeah.
great band called The Year of the Rabbit too, if you like weird spacey proggy stuff or whatever. Check them out.
Okay.
Ken Andrews is great.
Jim Dukers again, reconfiguring his chant. Husky Alex OTK. Husky Alex OTK. There you go. Husky's fine. I feel like I'm shopping at the boys section of JCPenney's, but yes, I am indeed Husky Alex.
You could just be like, he's our Alex OTK.
And Daniel says, "Hey, you're my favorite / the best. I don't watch any WWE stuff, so I'm thrilled to see you. Also, put all the belts on Megan Bayne." Listen, I understand it's a turn of phrase. However, the problem that we have here is that too many people have too many belts. So if she has one belt or is one half of one set of belts, I will be very happy. I don't want her to be a double champ though.
Well, first of all, let's focus on this comment because I'm their favorite. So this is important. Okay,
that's the most important.
We're gonna give this one a lot of time because I'm their favorite, and I like to screenshot these things and send them to Sean. But he's not saying make her a double champ. He's saying unify all the belts, basically. Put them all in Megan Bayne.
Okay. All right.
Everything, international, trios titles, she's the trio.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
So, I think that actually solves a lot of our problems. Put the 24/7 belt on her. The Wrestling Society X Championship. Mm-hmm. Every belt from WrestleLicious goes on Megan Bayne. She should have every title. And then this is very exciting. The scarcity is back.
Yeah. So the Don Callis family, because the Death Riders, also Wheeler Yuta, all that build up to him having his head shaved, and he's in the background as John Moxley walks up and he's wearing a hood, and then later as they're all giving a promo in the boiler room, he's also just standing off to the side wearing a hood. And there's no big like it. You built to that for weeks, and on the following Dynamite, there's no moment where he gets humiliated because somebody rips the hood off or anything. Like, I feel like that was a big payoff of him getting his head shaved, but we need to see the full bald Yuta to get the full closure of all of this time being spent.
Let me explain how the industry works to you. Let me teach you something, kid, okay? It's called healing, okay? He's not going to let you see his bald head because he doesn't want to give you the satisfaction. It's called being a heel.
I understand he wouldn't take his own thing off, but I'm trying somebody else would do it.
Everybody wants a real heel until you get one. All right, man? Everybody wants one of them until you actually get one. And then the IWC is out here crying about it. And I got to sit here and I got to listen.
Anyway, during this promo they cut in a boiler room, they were wanting to fight some of the Don Callis family on Collision. And Josh Alexander basically says, "I'll fight you, Claudio, for the CMLL World Championship." He's also got a guy in an ankle lock while he says it. Him and Lance Archer, and I think it was Clone or Hechicero, maybe both of them. There was a guy in a lucha mask back there beating on somebody, and then Don Callis comes in and says, "Yeah, we're gonna take you out, Moxley." And here comes Andrade. Andrade looked like he got a haircut, and I would not have advised that. The long hair worked so well for him, like him in the little newsy cap. It didn't look like there was hair put up under it. It looked like he got a haircut, and I was like, no! Think of what happened to Samson. All of your power was in your long golden locks. And now who knows if you're still going to have that cachet with the crowd. Anyway, he says, "I'm still coming after the AEW World Championship."
Shout out to Luis for moderating the chat when he was also at Dynamite tonight. I believe that was Al Clone, which of course is Luis. I don't know if you gotta give him fashion advice because he seems to be doing well with the ladies.
No, I agree. Again, he was doing well with the. Listen, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like he was doing really well with the ladies.
Everybody wants a heel until these guys. These kids today just don't understand how haircuts work in wrestling. All right. This is absolutely my new bit.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great bit. I love it.
The chat was calling it gal-splaining, woman-splaining.
Is there any way you could,
to Alex?
Is there any way you could do a little disco dancing while you talk like that, just so we can get the full effect? No. Okay, good.
Let me go have one good match with Shawn Michaels, which is the biggest cheat code in the world, and no other memorable ones in my career. Yeah. Oh,
yeah. Scott Tilden, because Okada and Andrade were being like, "Hey, I like you. You're a good guy." He thinks that they should call their tag team name the Rain-Making Idols.
Ooh.
Which I don't hate.
Could they face like the hosses of effervescence and they could make it rain on them hoes?
Mm-hmm. They could. They could. So we got at the very beginning of the night, we got Renee interviewing Orange Cassidy, like, "Hey, Roddy Strong walked out on you last week out of your tag team match, which you won anyway, which made everybody look bad. But hey, he no-showed tonight, which is weird considering he walked out on you during the, like, I would not have expected him to." She says, "You need another tag partner." Like, after last week, was the expectation if he showed up to work this week, he was going to agree to tag with Orange Cassidy? Because I would not have expected that. But he says it's okay. The conglomeration runs deep, and so he's got Stone Pitbull. He's got Tom here. He got Big Tom. Big Tom Ishii.
Big Tom Ishii. Perhaps he would have apologized. You don't know. Sometimes you get hot-headed in the moment, and then you gain some clarity. I'm real life hopeful that this means Kyle O'Reilly is coming back, and maybe he'll return with hockey hair properly, and he'll play air guitar, and I'll be so happy because I miss Kyle O'Reilly and I love him. Wow. And the matches with Mox felt like they were like setting something in motion, and then it feels like this whole angle got stalled because of the injury. So I'm hoping that means it's on his way back.
I guess we'll see. It didn't seem like they were setting up a thing where Roddy would win the argument about whether or not the Paragon should join the conglomeration. Like, he didn't want to do it, and it was Kyle's idea. Like, come on, hang out with us, it's cool. And Roddy didn't want to. And if Kyle comes back, I kind of don't want heel Kyle, and I do desperately need Roddy and Kyle to have more amazing tag matches. They are one of the teams that I would love to see hold tag gold that's not FTR or the Young Bucks. And I don't know that I would enjoy them as much as heels as I would with Kyle just trying to get Roddy to play nice for a while, because I do like them, that backstage relationship that they have. But I really love those two guys working together. If I got to see them as the full heels, then I got to see them as full heels. But I need them together as a tag team, and I need them as a top tag team because they're so great together.
I've just decided something that is for me.
Okay.
I think the angle is Kyle comes back and there's a split, but I would love if they developed a trio with Josh Woods, because Josh Woods is insane and there's no reason he should be not being used or being like a forgotten member of ROH. And a trio of Roddy Strong, Kyle Fletcher and Josh
Mhm.
Woods moves me greatly in emotional ways that I'm not prepared to discuss at this time because I just thought of it. So I would like
Okay.
I guess there's a lot happening in the tag division right now. I would like for the trios tag champs or the trios champions to be something more than backup for the world champion like they've been for
please don't do that
over
anymore.
a year. So give me Josh Woods joining those two guys, and that it would probably bring world peace. I would sleep better at night. I would lose the last 10 pounds that I need to lose. My finances would grow. My 401k would thrive. I just know it would heal me. So
Yeah. Tom Lavelli says, Alex, you and I are earth sheep.
I'm an earth sign.
Earth sheep? That's like being a dirt sheep. Nobody wants to be a dirt sheep. Dirt sheet, fine. Dirt sheep, no.
Damn.
Who wants to be a sheep covered in mud? Nobody wants to be that.
Is that what being an air quotes journalist is? It's another like zodiac element.
It's a dirt sheep.
This is not so okay. Earth sheep are optimistic. I wouldn't say that's you. I would say you're a realist, self-reliant, and hardworking. That is you. You're known for being pragmatic and more conservative than other sheep types.
Ridiculous. Not true.
Strong, loyal, and nurturing in nature, often acting as stabilizers for friends and family. I know that part's true.
That part is true.
Okay.
But conservative.
You're more conservative than the other types of sheep.
Than other types of sheep, yes, because sheep notably
are wild.
Freewheeling. They're free spirits, all sheep. You see sheep jumping over fences all the time in your dreams. So what are we talking about?
We're talking about
Ishii and Cassidy are facing Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors. And Ishii may have hurt himself badly at the end of the match. He could barely stand, but he did win with a brainbuster. Because here's the thing, I love, again, Danielson pointing out injuries, but also he knows what a guy looks like when he tore something or something else. Like he think he might have a problem with his leg. It's like, oh no, I think Ishii tore his hamstring. That's a bad injury. And I'm like, yeah, that would be a really bad injury, but also not one I think you could brainbuster a dude while having, but he is made out of stone. And he is a pit bull. The problem I have with all of this is that Darby Allin, if not the biggest heel in AEW, then now the second behind only Swerve, comes and attacks Gabe Kidd unprovoked with a skateboard and drags him. That's the thing that makes me the dumbest thing. Like Darby Allin drags Gabe Kidd into the back through the crowd. Like, no, he doesn't. Gabe Kidd has 120 pounds on Darby Allin. You're not dragging a man that size who's much bigger than you without him wanting to go with you, and that was very silly to me. I really don't love, even if I liked Darby Allin, which I very much don't, I don't think that I would love the repetitive nature of him, like, hey, I'm going to jump out of the crowd and abduct one half of this tag team, costing them a match like twice in a row. Listen, all he had to do was stay in the body bag in the desert and none of this would have happened. Like, that's what I'm saying. He's fine. Just leave well enough alone, but he can't. He's Darby Allin.
Gabe Kidd cut a really good, I don't know when I'll be back at New Japan promo that I just wanted to bring up because it was excellent, and his re-entry into AEW post Death Riders-y stuff, I think, has been much better and reflective of who he is as a wrestler. But that version of him is who they need to translate to AEW television.
Yeah.
It's really, really, really great. I mean, the chat is saying it, and I kind of agree. I wouldn't say it's unprovoked. I feel like Gabe Kidd has kicked his ever-loving shit in a few times.
Gabe Kidd was only getting revenge on what Darby did to him like 6 months ago. So at that point, water under the bridge. And if not, you were beaten half to death and left for dead in a body bag in the middle of the Nevada desert like 2 weeks ago. Get over it, okay? Come on, go to therapy, Darby Allin. Jesus.
I'm gonna say murder is murder. And
fine.
An eye for an eye, a murder for a murder is what I always say.
Right.
But I know you're maybe not the biggest Darby Allin fan. I have concluded that myself. But I've for the most part enjoyed this feud, and I feel like it's gone a long way in reestablishing Gabe Kidd. I am very intrigued to see what happens with this Dave Finlay situation. I know you're not like a New Japan watcher, but as someone who is.
Scott Tilden says, could we see a Clark Connors, Dave Finlay, Jay White, Ace Austin, El Phantasmo, Gabe Kidd, Juice Robinson, Guns Bullet Club reunion in AEW? And I say I hope so, because I think that might finally be enough guys to keep Darby Allin down.
I think it might be enough guys to keep the faction healthy. Like that's been brutal.
Yeah.
I know Sean had mentioned he heard like Will Ospreay's closer to coming back than Jay White, unfortunately, because I think while he was out, he had other things tended to that he was like, well, I'm out. I might as well. These things that I've been putting off kind of thing, or they found more or whatever. So he's still, unfortunately, got a ways to go. That guy, like, I just want to see him wrestle because he's so great. But I am intrigued to see like what this translation looks like, because if you told me like Drilla was staying in New Japan, I would have thought like all these guys were going one place together, and they're not. So I'm intrigued to see how this shakes out. Clark Connors is someone that I feel like is translating very quickly, very well. And that's awesome. There's just not like a cooler couple than him and Tekla, I fear. Like they're just two of the coolest presences on TV.
Yeah.
But I've liked this, and I feel like no fault of Gabe Kids, but like the way he was used in the Death Rider stuff was just very erratic, and I feel like
it was because they always had to figure out scheduling with New Japan. Like, when was he going to be here? He's not a full-fledged member. He's like a adjunct. You know what I mean? It's yeah. So the Brawling Birds.
These birds,
they brawl.
They're brawling. Against babes, birds and babes.
Was it Arcady? Who was doing the announcing tonight? Was it Arcady? The way she announced them, she did the Brawling Birds. And I'm like, if you do it that way, that means there are other birds who don't brawl. And I feel like it's the Brawling Birds. Am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. It's just the way she did it made me go, is there a team of like the Dainty Birds and the Brawling Birds are different? I don't know. But anyway, I really love Jamie Hayter and Alex Windsor together. I think they're great. I think they could inject a lot of fun stuff into the tag title scene for the women. And I don't think there's a danger of them deciding to put the TBS title on one of them at the same time. So that would already be better than what they've done with the Babes of Wrath. But they defeated Viva Van and Becca. You have to do that because she's got 2 C's back to back, so she's back.
Well, she is the pop star, B3CCA. that's how. That is the Becca way. Very happy to see her. She's someone that, if I refuse to get my hopes up. I refuse to do it. But Ian Riccaboni was talking about ROH, like maybe something's happening. And if that's what this padding of the roster has been, she's someone they should absolutely pick up. That is someone who is just like such instant star quality, and she can do anything. But also happy to see Viva Van on television, and she seems to be getting more reps in general. I think I don't know if she signed or whatever, but she's in the ecosystem at AEW, it seems. So I'm very happy to see her because she, like High-End, is someone that has been a standout in the independent scene to the point where it's like, are we gonna sign these gals? But love me some Brawling Birds. This is a really fun team. I love the way that they came together. Like the vignettes that they did with them is so fun, and they also seem like very prominent talent. So anytime you make a tag team make sense, even if they're a Franken team and they're like top of the card talent, it feels like you're putting an emphasis on the division. So I certainly appreciate that about it as well. They're going to be really fun to watch, just like ring style wise, and that's going to be a blast. So
yes, I liked it a lot. They're perfect use of the old heart attack.
Yeah,
double finisher. I think that was really great. I like them a lot. And hey, 2 women's matches on an episode of Dynamite. I'll never say no to that. That's great stuff. Good.
If you're listening in audio form, I'm cheering my arms like I just won something. That's how desperate I've been for multiple matches.
So no Tekla on the show tonight after winning the title last week, but they did do an interview with the person she beat, who says, "I'm not cleared to wrestle, but I don't care about wrestling. I want to fight. I'm going to fight you. I'm going to beat you up." And also with Statlander was Thunder Rosa, who we haven't seen since All In.
Happy to see her back.
And she got cleared today, they said, and she's like, I don't like what Tekla did to you, Stat, so I'm coming after you and all your friends. She says a lot of things in Spanish, and I feel like she meant business in Espanol. And so she is going to be facing Julia Hart on Collision. So I'm really happy to see Thunder Rosa back. I like this like tenuous little alliance of mutual respect with her and Stat. I like Stat saying, "Hey, Tekla's really unpredictable. Don't let your guard down around her." I like that a lot too. This should be very good.
Very happy to see Rosa back. She's just been fighting back from injuries and back injuries, which sucks. Like it's just very hard to properly heal those and very easy to re-aggravate those. Happy to see her back for sure. Was kind of hoping that maybe like her and Deonna would link up as a tag team because that best of 7 was so fun. And I'm just thinking it's ridiculous that Deonna Purrazzo wasn't on television because she had an anxiety attack once at CMLL. Like that's just fucking crazy to me. But I would like to see the tag division get used more in that way of also helping talent rotation. But I do feel like it's in a healthier place than when it started. So hopefully we're trending that way. But anyway, very happy that Thunder Rosa is back. Nice shot in the arm.
Luis telling me that she indeed means business. She said she would kick your entire ass in Spanish, which is nice. It's just at least then you could balance out the bruising. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's got to be nice. You can't half-ass stuff. You got to go full ass. And if there's anything Thunder Rosa is going to do, it's going to be to go full ass in the kick-in.
Hey, I love when stipulations are added to matches that they don't pay off on, and doing the match without the stipulation being paid off kind of seems silly. When I say I love it, I mean I hate it. Kevin Knight challenged Beast Mordos to a singles match, and if Beast Mordos won, then the trios champs would have to defend their titles against LFI. I don't feel like you should put that stipulation on the match and not pay it off because, well, then they don't defend their titles. They're only defending their titles against a different team because that different team challenged them to a match. But this whole thing of it was a really fun moment. I'm not saying it wasn't a fun moment, and they had to do it because Hobbs was leaving. By the way, Hook apparently did a promo tonight that I missed, but he's now the op. There's like there's no more ops. He's the op now. So we'll see how he does as the op. But anyway, because Hobbs was leaving, they had to get the trios titles off of the ops, so they put them on Hangman and Jet Set Rodeo. And immediately Hangman Page is now entirely involved in a much more important thing, than the trios titles. So I understand why he's put them on the back burner, but maybe that's why you don't do both of those things with him at the same time. So Beast Mortos is great. Gosh, I'm tired of watching him lose, especially if he could just win this match and then get his team a trios title that they would probably lose and he'd get pinned. But Kevin Knight is excellent and a lot of fun. This was a really fun match, but it felt like a weird thing to do to introduce the stipulation if you're not going to pay it off. And then to immediately afterwards have the demand say, well, you guys don't want to defend your titles. You're going to defend them against us because we make matches around here. We're the demand. And then they do this. Yeah, I want to see Ricochet and the Gates of Agony, GOA, as the trios champs. Oh wait, no, I don't, because Ricochet is also a singles champion.
It's so annoying.
To be angry about whenever they do this, so I can be consistent.
I think this is sadly true. I think this is why that didn't fall through. Everybody's injured all of the time. I think that's true. I don't want to promise it. I think that's true. What's frustrating about Ricochet and GOA not being the trios champions is I feel like they should have a long time ago, and that would have been great. Like I don't think any of the ops stuff needed the titles for that. But they gotta. It felt like a while ago they didn't have a trios division, and now it feels like we're in the infancy of building it, and it's like snake bitten by some injury. So yeah, Rush and Drilistico are both out. So that sucks.
So you introduced a stipulation that you knew you couldn't pay off on because there weren't enough members of his faction to field a trio.
I think one of them is more like very recent, but anyway,
silly. But a fun match.
Extremely, yeah. Yes, agreed on all counts. It does feel like I don't like that Adam Page is involved in something so much more important because I don't love that there's such a gap between the trios titles and the world title. Like that's the part of it that sucks. Kevin Knight's kind of a jerk. I am intrigued to see where things end up because like Speedball and Kevin Knight, it feels like fell into being a tag team. It doesn't feel like so I'm like, do they feud at some point? Like when this faction breaks up, because this faction was never supposed to be a thing. Like, so, or are they going to be in the tag picture? Like, I don't know. So it just feels like there's a lot of like resetting happening, and I'm intrigued to see where everybody shakes out.
It's a live Collision this weekend. For the love of God, have the demand beat Jet Set Rodeo so that Hangman can focus on the thing he needs to focus on.
Sure.
Because it doesn't make a lot of sense that you would run that story for him while you're also having to, because you do have to have the trios champs do stuff. And neat. you can easily put Jet Speed back in the tag division and have them have really fun matches against Private Party and 2/3 of the Rascals and Big Bill and Brian Keith. Sure. They're always great. They never get to. They're only on TV when they're doing a very small program on Collision. Big Bill is. If you said to me, who's a guy, if you could just say, push that dude, like Big Bill.
Sure.
Like as far as like he can cut promos. He's gigantic. He's ripped, and he's always fun to watch as a big man.
Yeah.
And big men have a shorter shelf life than other dudes because they all, when you get to be that tall, you have like knee and foot problems and stuff. Like, he's still in the prime of his career. Like, push that dude. He should be at some point a mid-card champion. Like, at least, I mean, I think he's got what it takes to be a world champion. I know it seems weird because he's been playing second fiddle to Jericho all of 2024 and 2025. And then since Jericho left, he's just been kind of off and on TV, but he's got what it takes to be your big man of AEW. Like, I really love that guy, and I miss him when he's not on TV. And I really liked that he was like, we're going to join this feud with Eddie Kingston and Ortiz. And that was like 3 weeks ago now at this point, and we haven't seen them since. So like, there's not a lot, there's not infinite amount of TV time, but he should get some of it more often.
I agree. I think he's in a contract deal. I don't know if he's re-signed, but I think his contract was reported in spring. I would imagine he sticks around. Is my non-educated educated guess. I'll put it that way. But I would love to see the early part of 2026 here. They've done a much better job rearranging the chessboard, and I would like to see that continue to people who are not getting like. I'm encouraged by the rotation of talent, and I want to see more of it.
Yeah.
Like, I think Ciampa's absence today means we see him next week, and I like that. Like, hopefully he's spinning out over having lost Sylvie. Like, I want to see the breathing room in this program and Collision mean more opportunities for people. Like, when that happens. But Big Bill is someone that, I agree. He's over every way you push him, meaning like as a serious guy, as a funny guy. Like, he really, really does have like an organic connection with the crowd for sure.
Noise says, has Ricochet defended his title at all in another promotion, which was like a big thing for the belt? Yes, says Luis, in Rev Pro and CMLL, but that's only twice. And I feel like he's been the champ for a longer time than I can think of. Like, it's been a while, but
my thing is they made it sound like that it's defending it in other parts of the world is the primary usage for it.
Yeah.
But that's not the primary usage for it. And
no.
I talked about it earlier, like belts having personalities is good.
Yeah.
I want to see that belt on Lio Rush and see him defend it in
CMLL,
New Japan, like all over the world. I want to see that kind of thing for that belt.
Months ago now at this point, he defended the title against Jack Perry in Omaha, which again is the most inside this country you could possibly be for a belt that's supposed to be defended outside the country. However, the problem I have with that is not even at this point the Omaha, it's the Jack Perry, because he's still going out. He says we're done with Jack Perry, but Jack Perry left his knife in the middle of their dressing room door. And so we're definitely getting more Jack Perry and Ricochet matches. And I feel like that doesn't need to be a 4-month to 6-month feud. We don't need that like have Ricochet could defend it against other people. He could. It's possible. You've got a big roster.
You could, and you could do so much with it. I would love to see, like, I don't know, a whole field of people that you could even lay odds on. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, it would be great. Oh,
like,
we could like lay odds on who the next challenger would be for all these titles when they do open challenges. That would be great. However, there's no place where you can put bets on professional wrestling.
Alex, you're not going to believe this.
I'm not.
There actually is somewhere that you can bet on professional wrestling. It is not some niche, weird, pro wrestling only site. You can bet on sports of all kinds. And there's fun prop bets to go along with it. And it's not just anybody's bookie. It's your bookie, and it's my bookie, AG.
At my bookie AG, they say that you can bet on anything, anytime, anywhere. And they mean it. NBA, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, UFC, pro wrestling. But that's not it. Motorsports, golf, tennis, darts, cycling, cricket, handball, floorball, rugby, snooker, volleyball, table tennis, cycling. Yeah, you can bet on it at MyBookie AG. They got the best support system in the business. We only want you to bet what you can, and please bet responsibly. But go take advantage of being able to bet on anything, anytime, anywhere. They got live esports. They got racing. They got everything at MyBookie AG. And right now, get a $50 bonus when you deposit $100 or a $100 bonus when you deposit $200. You can bet with Bitcoin and play their great casino games as well. MyBookie AG.
Alex, as an esteemed floorball player,
Mhm.
do you feel good knowing that betting on floorball is in the hands of someone as responsible as MyBookie?
Yeah, I wouldn't trust anybody else with
With
floorball.
floorball
betting.
odds?
Yeah, no. There, you gotta really know your floorball to be able to set the odds on floorball games. Yeah,
You gotta know. You gotta know ball. You gotta know floorball.
You gotta know floor, and you gotta know ball.
I always say you gotta know floor. Gotta know it.
They call me a floor knower.
Oh God, yeah, they always call you that since like way back.
Yep, Kenny Omega and Swerve Strickland had a fantastic main event. This was hard hitting in all the best ways. They killed each other. It was really, really great. And I loved how the in-match inciting incident, the thing that like changed the match, the catalyst that moved it from one thing to the other. I was watching it. It was after a giant Snapdragon avalanche suplex, and Swerve came up going for his shoulder. And Aubrey came over to him in the ropes to like check on him. And he was pointing at his shoulder a lot, and he kind of reached up and grabbed Aubrey and pulled her in the way, and she got a full V-trigger to the back of the noggin. And immediately after that, Bryan Danielson, who's not the heel commentator, he's just a guy who calls it like he sees it. I don't know if that was intentional. Like, he was just trying to figure out what was wrong with his shoulder. That was enough from him. That was enough for me to start putting doubts in what I thought I saw. Because I thought I saw Swerve do that on purpose. But Danielson is telling me maybe I saw that wrong, which is great for the after-match stuff that happens. Because if I was like, there it goes, there's the heel turn during the match, what happens after the match wouldn't have been so shocking. But Danielson is there to tell me, well, I don't know, maybe that wasn't intentional. And after that, there's all kinds of more hard-hitting stuff, really great. And eventually Paul Turner comes down as another referee to count, and Swerve hits because he hit some crazy thing, and then Kenny kicked out, and Swerve did the back away stunned wide-eyed thing, which I feel like it was worth it for this. You can't do that in every match, but this kind of felt like it called for it. And then he hits another house call, and then the big pressure to pin Kenny Omega. Now, aside from pulling Aubrey in the way of that V-trigger, there wasn't a heel. He didn't cheat to win.
Correct.
Like, there was that moment, but he didn't use a weapon. He didn't do a low blow. Like, he just beat Kenny. But Kenny was obviously shook after hitting Aubrey with the V-trigger, so he did change the trajectory of the match. But I love that he didn't turn heel really during the match, which allowed that to feel like it was actually a pure-ish victory over Kenny Omega. And he let what he did afterwards tell the story of why he is indeed the most dangerous most dangerous man in AEW.
I'm so glad you learned from me earlier in the episode about heels and healing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I am a wise teacher.
Oh.
These two beat the ever living crap out of each other, huh?
They
This
sure
was
did.
super fun. I think I said this on this show when I was filling in a couple weeks ago. That like one thing that I love about Swerve is when he's a heel, he's kind of just a meaner, more violent version in the ring of who he is as a face. Because he's a nasty face and he's a nasty heel. Like he just turns up his already violent moveset, and I love that because he'll play dirty, but he doesn't really cheat. And I really, really, really like the way that he walks that line, and I think it's important because then you're a different type of heel than MJF. Then you're a different type of heel than a heel that uses the numbers game. Like, it's so hard to find certain alleys. Seeing an Avalanche Snapdragon from Kenny Omega today, just it warmed my heart. Like, I just love watching Kenny wrestle. But like the Snapdragon is superior to anybody else's Snapdragon. I loved that we got this heel turn out of Swerve because I don't feel like we've had a heel turn that's really happened in the ring without the use of a plastic bag, etc. in a while. Like we have not had an in-ring story-driven heel turn in a while, like at the super top of the card, and I just really appreciate that we got that because it's my favorite. It's my favorite way. So when I see it done right, it's awesome. I also appreciate, Alex, we joke about it, like how many times are they going to mention Kenny's diverticulitis, and how many times is commentary going to bring up this thing that he's been wrestling fine without for a while. Swerve managed to hurt him in places other than the diverticulitis. That was important to me.
They were doing a thing that they thought that Kenny's jaw might be fractured. Was a thing that they kept on bringing up a lot. And Sean has said he is not working Revolution, so this is the way to write him off until post Revolution. So like basically a month, give him a month off. He can come back, and obviously you want another piece of Swerve. I think that that works out really well.
He swerves when he jaws is what happens.
Yes. So
tough night to be a referee. Yeah. I loved the spot with Aubrey. I'm so sick of ref bumps, but that was a really good one.
That was a very good one. That was really well timed, and she took it like a champ. And I did think it was like, we need to get some medical attention out here for, like.
Yeah, what did Danielson said? There are two things that need to happen. One is medical attention. I forget what it was, but he was like
there's two things that need to happen right now. One, we need to get a doctor for Aubrey, and two, there needs to be another referee.
That's what it was.
And I also feel like it's fun because you literally have a doctor at ringside. AEW always has a doctor at ringside, and that guy was not checking on Aubrey whatsoever. And I feel like that guy should have checked on Aubrey. Because anytime somebody takes a blow to the back of the head and then lies motionless, there's a chance they're dead.
It's true.
So I would think that as a doctor at ringside, you should go ahead at least check for a pulse. If nothing else, check for a pulse. There's more info on Fightful Select about Kenny Omega not competing in
my God, plugs McGee over here.
And why he might not be. Just saying. A Fightful Select, do that. So Swerve after the match attacks Omega some more, and then kind of manhandles Prince Nana into the corner and takes the chain from him. And uses that and wraps it around Kenny's throat, dangles him over the ropes, the hangman thing that he does.
Yes.
Like the way Hangman wins matches with, hanging a guy. But we've seen Swerve do this as well in the past, but it's kind of become synonymous with how Hangman wins Texas death matches. But it was very specific that he did this also after that. Then he I loved Danielson too, just like, you proved your point. It's done. You beat him. You're dangerous. Everybody thinks you're dangerous. You don't have to do this. But then he brought those ring steps over by the table. He picked up Kenny and did a damn vertebreaker through the announce table. And then he kept saying, I needed this. I needed this
so much.
Because
that's what he said going into it. And it's like, he was like, this proved that I'm the baddest man at AEW. I'm the most violent guy at AEW. And so that's just such a logical way to turn heel. That's just him looking at himself in the mirror. Like, I love that. Delicious.
Roberto says, Swerve saying he needed this. Andre and Brody King both saying they're not done chasing the world title. AEW has the best world title scene in wrestling. I mean, I'm not going to argue with that. That's for sure.
I agree entirely.
They actually have like 5 or 6 guys who they could easily put in the world title scene and it wouldn't feel off. Agreed. You know what I mean? They have an incredibly deep roster at the top. Anthony Velasquez says, really good heel turn by Swerve. Not expecting it. I know the teases have been there, but never thought he would go full-blown heel. I knew he would. I just didn't know he was gonna do it in the way he did it here, or even it was going to be tonight. I thought maybe he would lose to Kenny and that would set him off. But I also not lost a couple of weeks ago. We saw Nana with the embassy written on a towel he was carrying. Made sure to show that to the thing. The other Mikey V says the private party segment last week now seems Swerve related. Swerve having a heel private party as part of his entourage would not be a bad idea. Somebody else was saying, like, make Tommaso Ciampa his top lieutenant and just turn a psycho killer loose on everybody that Swerve doesn't like. I think that there's a lot of really cool stuff, a lot of good possibilities for people who could be in the new mogul embassy. As long as it's not Parker or Trench, I'm good.
Trench. It's one thing to be a Darby Allin hater, but Trench, who was undefeated in AEW, also 0 wins. He had a 0-0 record. But how dare you, sir? I'll say this, like, to the point about him being a tweener and thinking he wasn't going to go full heel, one thing that's extremely rare is someone who's actually quite good at being a tweener, and Swerve is that. Because of the ambiguity, or because of the connective tissue between him being a face and a heel, he doesn't feel like a guy who flipped a switch, and he doesn't feel like this is who I am as a heel. It's all on the same spectrum. So when he gets to the tweener spot, it's not jarringly like commit one way or the other. And I don't feel like a lot of wrestlers nail that in quite the same way he does. So that's probably why we didn't feel like it had to happen quickly or that it had to happen at all. I love the idea of, like, first of all, they're all body guys now. Swerve and Mark Quinn both came back with like masks on them. One thing that I love is I like if you're building like a group or a faction that they have different goals, meaning like Private Party can go after the world title while Swerve is focused on the men's world title or whatever. And I like it when you have that. And like, if you threw someone else in, that would be more in like the mid card area or whatever. Like, building a stable that way is healthy because they have targets throughout your company instead of like 3 guys that are all eventually going to want the same thing. So I like that idea. And I like the idea of sort of having a faction that works and gets a proper push with the right pieces behind him, because we know he can lead a stable. We've seen it in other companies. Yeah. So that would be a fun thing and a good way to elevate other people. That's a good use of Swerve.
Tim says, SGS Wednesday takeover. I know we might get some Alex rants tonight, and I agree with a couple of them, but my God, I love evil Swerve. Kyle Fletcher might have some competition from my cold, villainous gay heart.
My cold, villainous gay heart is a fantastic band name, first of all, and something that everybody should be fighting for, I believe.
And then Inflatable Carnival says, I think they're going to hot potato the AEW belt around all these top guys until Ospreay comes back and holds it for a long time. We'll see. The last thing we're going to talk about is this Hangman Page and MJF promo segment, which started out great and ended up confounding to me. MJF cutting a promo to Hangman with Hangman in the ring. They agreed to no physicality. And he says that everybody, you've convinced all these people that they should love you. Everyone thinks you're the main character. Obviously, that's me. He does a really good thing of like the last two times, that's twice now, that you've become the champ with a whole bunch of fanfare and then fizzled almost immediately because you can't handle the pressure. I mean, maybe you can, but I know that you are thinking, what happens if I get the title back and I fizzle out again? Will everybody realize that it's a bunch of cowboy bullshit? And I really loved that take because you need to at some point acknowledge the fact that this guy got built up like crazy to finally be the guy who beat Kenny Omega after nobody could beat Kenny Omega. And then they decided to do the stupid thing where they put the title on Phil, and Phil immediately got hurt afterwards. And it probably wasn't the right arc of Hangman to get to that point. And then you build him up and build him up and build him up and have him have this amazing redemption arc to be the only guy who could beat Jon Moxley after Jon Moxley held the title for so long. And then Samoa Joe just beats him in a rematch because Hook turned heel. Like, if you are going to book those things, those really anticlimactic ends to the reigns that felt such a catharsis for all of the fans when he started the reign, when he became champion, we're like, yes, now we're going to get to see Hangman do all this stuff. And you said, hold on, no, you're not, because we're going to end the reign in 4 months. And he did some stuff while he was champion both times. He had those amazing matches with Danielson during the first reign. He had that match with Kyle Fletcher in this reign. But at the same time, it does feel like they weren't as impactful as they maybe could have been. So acknowledging that from the heel to the face about it and making it about the anxious millennial cowboy, wondering if he's still got it, that's a really cool thing here. I also loved Hangman's response where he said, I hate you so much because MJ says, I hate you, Hangman. And Hangman says, I hate you even more because you remind me of me so much, because we're so alike. Because all that rejection that you feel, I feel it too. Everybody else, they want the title. We need it. Yeah. The distinction that I don't think he drew, but I would, is that MJF needs it to feel like he's to prove he's the best, and Hangman needs it so that he doesn't think he's the worst.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like there's that kind of thing there, and I really liked that back and forth. And then he says, "We're having this match at Revolution." And you and I both know it needs to be something big. So pick a stipulation and we'll do it. Or maybe we'll just have all these people pick one. And they vaguely chant Texas Death. And MJF is like, no, we're just going to do a regular wrestling match. And Hangman already has the title shot. He beat Andrade. He's a number one contender. It's a guaranteed title shot at Revolution. And just so he can get his chosen stipulation, he's basically willing to put his career on the line. Not, I'm going to retire, But he says, if you let me have a Texas death match against you for the title, then I promise I will never challenge for the AEW Men's World title ever again as long as I live. Not as long as you are the champion, which I thought he was going to say. And I was like, okay, he's going to lose to MJF. MJF's going to be the champ for 6 more months. You can do other things with Hangman while MJF is still the champion. And after MJF is no longer the champion, Hangman can organically slide back into the top contendership whenever they need him to. But he says, I'll never face anybody for the world championship ever again if you agree to give me a stipulation I like on the match I've already got. He voluntarily pulls a Cody. You don't ever want to voluntarily pull a Cody, because that was a terrible thing that hamstrung the Cody storytelling in AEW while he was there. The I can never challenge for the world title because I lost a match to you thing. This is the thing, is that now we're just going to have to see what comes of this. But I was really excited for MJF versus Hangman, because I thought they were, whatever options they chose, Hangman win or MJF win, I was like, that's good. That's a good option for me as a fan and for AEW as a whole. But now I'm like, I guess I want to see Hangman win so he doesn't have to do this terrible stipulation he booked himself into. But also I want to make sure he wins, because him losing will be actively terrible for AEW. To keep a guy like Hangman out of the world title scene for his entirety, the rest of his stuff. The problem I have with it is not that I think they're going to do it. It's that I think that they'll find a loophole to get him out of it. And Hangman has always been the guy who never lies. Even when he was a dastardly heel, he never told a lie. He always had a code of honor. If he makes a promise to MJF, to AEW management, he's making a promise to the fans. And heretofore, he has never broken a promise to the fans. And I don't want to watch an AEW product that would make him into a character who would break a promise. Because so much of my enjoyment in watching AEW is the consistency of the main character, the protagonist that I love so much, Hangman Page. And I cannot prevent my brain from spitting this out into all the worst case scenarios. And so now my cortisol has spiked.
You are missing a crucial detail in that MJF did not accept that.
Well, he's gonna. They wouldn't do this if he's not going to accept it.
I'm unconvinced of that.
Okay, well.
First of all, I loved everything that you said about the promo. I agree with. I also love MJF doing this thing that I feel like more heels should do, when the disparity between the two guys is cowboy, who everybody loves, and rich piece of shit. Mm-hmm. I don't like you. Because that guy doesn't like that guy.
Right, yeah.
Like, Hangman can draw the parallels between you're insecure and you need the affection. I also need that affection because I need it to fuel me. I love MJF being like, I don't like the way you talk. I don't like the way you wrestle. I feel like more heels, when the characters are so polar opposite like that, just need to do that. Like, because what you're saying is the heel is, I don't like all the things that the crowd loves about you, is like such an easy way to get heat without being like fat slobs, your sports team. I love that. And I also loved Hangman, like him saying the like, because we're so similar, reminds me of when they opened up 2025 with this exchange, like before everything went weird with Jeff Jarrett and stuff. Like, it felt so much when MJF was doing like, Hangman did nothing wrong, like this actually now feels like a chapter from that, fast forwarded in a way. Yeah. So I also really liked that. I really wonder if we get MJF saying, I'm not giving you the chance to be a fucking martyr to these people. If I beat you, you never get to challenge for the title again.
Listen, I certainly hope they go back on the thing that they said tonight, but I got zero vibes that they're not just going to have him. MJF absolutely wants to do that because he knows he's going to cheat and beat Hangman, and then he's never got to worry about Hangman ever again. I want the writers of this to realize they've done a terrible thing tonight and go back on it by next week and have MJF refuse. MJF is absolutely accepting it. For what 1,000,000% he's accepting it.
I don't know if MJF accepts it. I don't know if he accepts. I don't know if he thinks. You can't really cheat in a Texas death match. You can't really do that. I mean, so, him not wanting to face Hangman Page in Hangman Page's match.
Yeah.
And using, I'm not going to make you a martyr as a way to get out of it, I think it's a way more real possibility than a lot of people are, having these initial reactions to. I think it's actually very possible. Because the way MJF said, I actually think about things. I don't just, shoot at the hip and accept them. Makes me think he's going to marinate on it and be like, this is a bad idea. There's not really a way for me to cheat in this ultraviolet match, which is not my wheelhouse. And if I'm the guy that takes MJF out of the world title picture forever, then these people all get to cry about it for the rest of their lives. I think is actually very in the sphere of how MJF could respond. So I'm rooting for that because I actually think that's super interesting. But if he does accept it, I don't like it. I do think they write their way out of it. And I actually think there's a compelling thing of I could see Will Ospreay holding the title and being we're not going to sit around here and pretend that you're not world champion material. I faced you for a shot at the world title in the final of the Owens. I could see them doing something compelling with that.
I would hate that. I would hate that.
I know you would, but
a backdoor loophole for the. We didn't see this guy sink to the depths of hell and then get redeemed so that he could have a backdoor loophole into a world title shot after he promised that he would not challenge for it again. He is the most honorable character in the history of wrestling. I don't want to see him get a bit of a cheat code to get back into the world title shot if he loses. I don't want that for him. It would be terrible for what they have done with it. They have painstakingly created the honor level that searches back and forth for honor for Arthur Morgan in Red Dead Redemption 2. He is at 100% good honor right now. There's no reason for him to do this. There's no reason for it.
I remain unconvinced that MJF accepts it, but I also I know you would hate it, but there is a way that Swerve says if you want me to stop acting like this, you have to beat me for it. There's so many
the Swerve
ways
thing
they're gonna
that I honestly feel like they might do is the thing that Delgado pitches here, which is Swerve costing Hanger at Revolution.
And then he didn't really lose to MJF.
And then the promo being, did you honestly think that was water under the bridge? You burned down my parents' house. Now you never get to be world champion again. I win. And let Hangman sink into that, because the reason that he doesn't ever get to be that thing, the thing he needs to be, I need to be world champion. The reason that he doesn't get to be that ever again is because he made that fateful decision one night, because he felt it was the only way to get revenge for a thing that he felt like he had to do. And honestly, that's the only way this works for me. Is if Swerve is the guy who comes in when Hangman has MJF beat and takes out Hangman and then cuts that promo about, I did this because of the thing you did before. I'm never going to forgive you for that. Ever. And I made sure you'll never be the champion again. And if you're going to have the crowd do it, it's going to be like the Macho's retirement.
Yeah.
Crowd will all want Hangman to get that title shot again. My thing is like, man, that is some really cheap way to get him back in the title slot. But if anybody could pull that off, it's Hangman. Especially refusing and refusing and refusing and refusing to do it until finally there's nobody left.
Sure.
To take out the. Here's the thing: he's the only guy who's been able to take out Kenny Omega, who could not be taken out, and Moxley, who could not be taken out. Everybody else had all their shots; they couldn't do it. Oh, Hangman is the only guy. He is the specialist. You come in to topple the autocrat. You need that guy. If they create another heel champion that cannot be beaten, and in order to save AEW, he agrees to do this one last time. I feel like you could do that. I don't have confidence that they will get around to that. And every week that they don't will be agony for me watching it, because I live and die with this character of Hangman Page.
I also I feel like they would do it, and I'm a hypocrite because I feel like I'm going to sit here and say, like, if they would do it, they'd do it great and I would love it. I'm very sick of the save AEW cycle, and I'm okay with like Hanger and Swerve spending a little bit of time apart. Like,
yeah,
but I say that, and it's never boring when they're on screen together. So I feel like I'm just a walking contradiction in that. But like, go do other things. Like, go do other things.
Yeah. Right. I mean, the way this works, if you were actually writing the full story arc of all of this, is that top guy who cannot be beaten, that they need Hangman to come in and beat, would have to be Swerve in this scenario.
Of course.
Swerve, like full absolute mega heel monster Swerve with 6 dudes backing him up, like absolute ringers who cannot who you know. 3 of them hold the trios titles. Another guy holds a mid-card title. They're the top dudes, and they all back up Swerve, and nobody can get through them. You got to run a gauntlet to get through all of them to get to Swerve. Nobody can, but Hanger does. Like, that's the character they've created for him over all of these years.
Did that with the Death Riders. Like,
but the problem with this, the thing with this, Kate, is this doesn't happen until 2029. If you look at the intervals of when he is champ and loses it, and then is champ again and loses it, it's like every 3 years.
You just gotta hope he doesn't go to WWE and get a neck tattoo and put on a suit at that point.
Well, that's the thing. You never go full Cody. If you go full Cody, you get a neck tattoo.
That's right.
You never want to get a neck tattoo. Meet Norma is very true. Don't do it. Meet Norma's also gifting 5 memberships. That's amazing. Thank you so much.
You guys are the best.
Yeah. Very quickly before we get out of here, Feeling Dreepy says, Alex and Kate, would you consider doing an Is This Cinema on the movie Time Cop? I know a wrestler isn't featured in Time Cop, but Tony Khan mentions it almost every opportunity, so I feel like it should at least kind of count. True story. We were considering doing Time Cop as a review for the first Reviewing Bad Movies show that we did. Get the Flick Out of Here. All episodes available on YouTube. So just search Get the Flick Out of Here, and you'll see us review a lot of movies. 87 of them, I think, before we got canceled. Anyway, we were gonna do Time Cop, and I watched it and I said, this movie is too boring to review, so let's not even bother. That's what I said.
Sometimes Alex has to bail for the good of us. Not when something's so bad, because those episodes of reviewing stuff is great, but when something's boring, we can't.
What about the Big Show episode of Burn Notice?
Stop enabling this. This was my cousin started this.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. All right. That's it. Kate, where can everybody find you?
Taking a nap, usually. Very tired these days. Busy.
Oh my goodness.
Exhausted.
But
if I'm not taking a nap, I'm usually yapping about wrestling, and you can find me at Miss Kate Fave on social media. I do Monday WWE Raw reviews with this fella right here, as well as usually Tuesdays. I was off yesterday's, but NXT Sour Graps right here on the main channel. Wednesdays, when Sean or Alex aren't here, I tend to fill in. And Fridays, I host SmackDown with the wonderful, beautiful, incredible, infectious, every other positive synonym you can think of or word you can think of with the wonderful Cresta. My own channel is going to be coming back in a little bit. I'm just getting this move under control first, and then I will be back with real internet. So stay tuned for that, but you can subscribe at Miss Kate Babe if you wanted to check it out.
Of course, West Virginia scoops tomorrow on Select.
Yeah,
I mean WrestleVotes. But every time I see WV, because I went to there for grad school, I always think West Virginia. But it's WrestleVotes.
They might be
Grapsody this weekend.
there. We don't know. Grapsody this weekend, next weekend.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, don't follow me. But on Fightful Select, I don't follow me because I never post on social media anymore.
You really don't. God bless.
I barely ever open the apps anymore, man. Anyway, so yeah, but on Fightful Select, you said the same thing. We basically do all the shows together. Whatever she said, I'm also there probably most of the time. Not on Fridays though.
Sometimes without.
Sometimes whatever. I don't know. It's fine.
That's
Hangman,
the greatest plug ever.
You are on Neck Tattoo Watch. You're on Neck Tattoo Watch, hangers.
That was my favorite plug you've ever done. Don't follow me on social media. I don't post things. I'm barely on them. But I'm on Fightful Select, like she said. Sometimes I don't know.
I'm also tired. Everybody, thanks everybody for being here. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.